You don't believe in medical protection. You believe in eligibility. If your status is active, then they arrive. But if it isn't, then they step over you. And that's when you realize that safety was never moral. It was contractual. In Cyberpunk 2077, the trauma team does not ask who deserves to live. They check your coverage tier. See if you're platinum, then they arrive in an armored AV. But if you're not, then they step right on over you. And they don't hesitate. They don't debate. They don't feel anything either. Instead, they verify eligibility. And that's the system. And that's why it works. Because see, protection feels moral, but it's actually contractual. Now let's ground this. The trauma team is not evil. They're consistent. You paid, you qualify, and they respond. But if you don't pay, or you don't qualify, then they just move on. And see, that's not hatred. That's policy. Now think about insurance. You don't feel protected because you're human. You feel protected because your plan is active. You're safe until the claim is denied, or you're covered until the deductible resets, or you're eligible until the paperwork is wrong. And in that moment, that's when you realize that access depends on status and not need. Because you felt that shift in the moment where something serious happened. And instead of help, you got a clause. Not are you okay, but are you covered? And that's the trauma team. Now look at employment. See, you feel secure because you have a job. You have a job with benefits, with title, and maybe even access. But your value isn't personal. It's functional. You're protected as long as you're useful. And if the market shifts, or if the budget tightens, or if your performance dips, you're not escorted out emotionally. Instead, you're processed. And the system doesn't feel cruel. It feels procedural. And the moment you realize your stability depends on continued output. Because see, you stayed longer than you wanted to. And it's not because you loved it. It's because losing access felt worse. And see, that's eligibility. That's tiered protection. Now let's talk about social circles. And yeah, this one hits differently. You're included as long as you fit the vibe, as long as you're aligned, as long as you don't disrupt the tone, and as long as you don't embarrass the group. Because see, belonging feels unconditional. That's until you step out of line. Then the invitations slow down. The tone shifts. Distance appears. And there's no announcement. And there's no confrontation. Just a quiet downgrade. And you felt this before. The moment where you realized you were accepted for how you contributed. Not just who you were. Because that's status tiering. And it's not written, but it is real. And the trauma team just makes it visible. They don't pretend protection is emotional. Instead, they formalize it. Coverage level determines response level. And that's clean. And that's also cold. But here's the part where it lands. You live inside systems like this every single day. Whether it be insurance tiers, or job tiers, or social tiers. And most of the time it feels stable. Because you qualify, And the illusion of safety only breaks when you don't. And that's the real mechanism. You don't fear violence. You fear falling out of eligibility. You fear the moment the system checks your status and finds you insufficient. And the trauma team isn't terrifying because they showed up armed. They're terrifying because they won't show up at all if you're not on the list. And see, that's conditional protection. And once you see it, you start noticing where else you've confused access with worth. You can sit with that.